Hey, everybody. So I hope you're ready for the weekend because it's Friday and it's happening. And, if you did it right, you worked hard this week, you got a lot accomplished. But, one of the things that I've been kind of diving into is this week I've been reading a book. Actually, last week I read the book. This week I've been implementing the practices. But the book is called The One Thing. And one of the things that it talks about, in fact, the only thing that it talks about is the one thing, the thing that you do that you really want to do, that you're really passionate about doing, that is about you, that's the reason you wake up. And, unfortunately, so many of us have been fed the corporate line of garbage that we are here to work, where we've got to provide for our family. And in doing so, we've got to do this and we've got to do that. And these are the only things that we're entitled to do. And if we don't do these things, then we can't do those things. And there's just all this junk, right? There's all this stuff that we aren't looking at, that we're not empowering ourselves. We're not allowing ourselves to come up with the idea that we're here for a purpose. We've bought into the reality that we're here to trade our time for money, to create a lifestyle that we rarely get to enjoy with people that most of the time wonder what the heck we're doing. So, what's your one thing? And the one thing that I figured out is that that's going to change for me. But right now, I have certain projects that I want to make a priority. And so I'm getting up a little earlier. I'm focusing on those things. And it seems like after I spend 3 hours or 4 hours, like they recommend, on that one thing, my day is so happy. I am so turbocharged because I'm doing something that I truly, truly want to do and really, truly want to enjoy. And it is difficult to prioritize that way, but I'm doing it. And it's making such a difference in how I live my life, because the reality is I'm doing the thing that I want to do with my life first. And after that's done, then I'm doing the work, right? It's kind of like eating your ice cream before you eat dinner. And I'm finding that in my day, I'm having so much more success and I'm so much more invigorated that when I am faced with the problems and I am dealing with the difficulties, they seem to fly by and I don't seem to get hung up on them like I would if I wasn't doing my one thing. And so I would encourage you guys that as you go into this weekend, if you can pick up a copy of the one thing, or I listen to it on Audible. I like to listen to my books. But listen to the book, go through it, figure it out, do some things that prioritize you, that help you understand what your one thing is, and then figure out how you can organize it in your life. I know a lot of people say, well, I can't get up, I can't give myself 4 hours before work. Yeah, you can get up at 3 a.m. I mean, anybody can do it. It just means you might go to bed at 7, right? It means that certain things might change. It means maybe you need to look at taking a different shift in the day so that you can make these things happen. But what you're doing is you're actually putting yourself as your priority. And I want to challenge you guys, how many of you are actually actively today prioritizing yourself, actually making who you are your priority? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you want to do for others. There's only one of you. And without prioritizing you, there's going to come an end to your ride when this life is over for you. And if you haven't done that thing that empowers you, what do you really have left to give? It kind of brings me to the analogy of the glass. I mean, if your glass is empty, you can't really refill others. But if you're excited about what you're doing and you're excited about your life and it's taken a passionate turn because of how you're pulling things together, then maybe that is about you. And maybe you can look at those things and go, you know what? I'm going to do that one thing because that one thing is why I'm here. And it can be as simple as finding your purpose. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. Although purpose is part of it, right? You've got to have purpose to be able to get through life. But I'm talking about that one thing that you want to do. And when you look at it, I heard somebody say, if you hate what you do and you loathe going to work and you can't wait to get out of there, you should stop. And I completely agree, because you are the resource that you have to trade for for your time, money, and effort. And it doesn't mean that I get it. Money is important. It's not the only thing. It's not the one thing. It's something you use in trade for things. But it's to me, and this is something that I've been so fortunate in my life, guys, that I have been able to do is I have been able to do what I want to do. It's never been easy, but I've always done what I wanted to do. When I had to look at employment, I did what I wanted. I employed myself. I wanted to work here. I wanted to live this way. I wanted to do these things, and I did the work. And yet, I look at a lot of that, and I did what I needed to get what I wanted. Instead of making what I wanted the priority, I made the goal of getting there the priority so that I could have the thing, so that I could buy the thing or do the thing. But I've seen how just this week I've been able to change that thought process and go, my one thing, and currently right now, I'll just be honest with you, it's getting my instrument rating for pilot's license, right? And I've been kind of kicking it around. I've been talking about it, but I'm going to have it done by the end of next month. It's a very short window. And I'm going to do that one thing. I'm going to do that thing and I'm going to get that done so that I can take my test. I can have my instrument written, taken care of by the end of next month. And then by the end of April, I will actually physically have the ability to fly an airplane with instruments only. And that's something I've had my pilot's license since '04 or '05, right? So for 16 years, I've never prioritized getting that. Now that one thing, that's my thing. And it's exciting to me. And it means getting up really early so that I can have that 4 hour block, 3 hour block. And it's hard for me to focus on anything for 3 hours. 30 minutes is tough, guys. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. But I'm telling you, if you will look at what that one thing is for you and spend your time, you will find you make it easier and easier to increase that time block from an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to 4 hours so that you can do that one thing that is super exciting to you, that makes you passionate about what's going on in your life. So, guys, I would encourage you to find that one thing, the book, read the book, listen to the book, and then find a way to implement that one thing into your life. Guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to talking with you soon. And go to the Real Estate Rundown for more episodes of real estate, the thing I love to talk about, which is another thing that's one of my one things.